This is the Sport Fishing Championship.
And this is the sixth stop of 11, the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic, part of the Sport Fishing Championship from Miramar Beach, Florida. Look at those waters. That's why they call it the Emerald Coast, that bluish, greenish color, and the fans are out. Not necessarily all of them are fishing fans. I'm sure quite a few of them are, but a lot of things to do. There's the mix of the blue and the green as they make their way towards shore. And we saw earlier this morning that some of those parasailers got a great vantage point at the launch and the shotgun start. I'm Robbie Floyd. Ronnie Moore join us here in just a moment. Well, actually, join us right now. Ronnie Moore, he's on that Emerald Coast in Miramar. You've gone from the 150-foot SunQuest cruise line. Now you're on shore. You got your sea legs, Ronnie. Did you actually get to cast out? Did you make any attempts to catch fish?
You know, we teased them, Robbie, out there, but we did not throw any baits that, you know, would have maybe executed on a blue marlin catch out in the bay. No, I'm just kidding. But it was a good time to go out there and experience some of the conditions these guys are idling out for before that shotgun start. Obviously, we're here in Destin, Florida, and we're super excited for the 20th anniversary of this event. I know the teams were highly anticipating what they were going to experience out there over the next 3 days.
It looks like a little bit of a wind today, pretty much calm seas. You made your way back in. So what are the guys going to be dealing with? Because we know it's not just 1 hour some of these guys are running. It's several hours.
I know a lot of the guys were strategizing at the meeting and even earlier in the week, like Monday and Tuesday, looking at all the reports. Some of the people really wanted to make hay early. If they could do and get to an area outside the Florida coast, not far from Destin, and catch a blue marlin or so, maybe get those bonus points that we always reference, the 100 extra points. If they could do that, they were definitely going to be highly invested in that, and then utilize the nighttime. So oftentimes nighttime is when swordfish are caught. That may be why we haven't seen many swordfish or any logged in our catches for the past tournaments, because nighttime is when they make the big moves. They'll run through the night to get to their next spots. They don't want to eat up any of their daytime, especially Friday's fishing, where it's going to be their only full day of fishing that they have this event.
And Ronnie, we're dealing with a championship here. This is the sixth stop of 11. Again, you build and you accumulate points throughout the year. Southern Charm, one of our teams that have been up the top pretty much all year long, start out with a couple of top five finishes. You see them in second, just behind Moncherie. They're doing that off of the consistency. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine between this crew, but the Bill Fishing or the Sport Fishing Championship is all about accumulating points. But as far as the events are concerned, you can accumulate 3 event points. Southern Charm, they're out on the water at another stop, but they're still trying to drop that one bad taste in their mouth. At the last round in Biloxi, finished in 17th place. The world is their oyster. How far do they run? It looks like, you know, geographically, they've really only gone about 100 miles out.
For Southern Charm, Robbie, they did have a little bit of a different strategy we heard on the dock. They may target a couple different species of billfish this week. Because they did so poorly in Biloxi, that set them back from being the points leaders. Now in second, they definitely want to make an adjustment and cull out that finish this week in Destin.
And Southern Charm finished third at the Louisiana Gulf Coast Billfish Classic. And they were in the hunt. I mean, they were there towards the end. 4 blue marlin caught. Again, you get 350 points for each blue marlin. They caught 4. That was third best, behind only Moncherie and Breathe Easy, 2 very strong teams as well.
That's the thing we were talking about. When you're talking about the Gulf Coast Classic and you're talking about the Orange Beach event, you're talking about the Biloxi events, Southern Charm was in a great position. You mentioned it, but Moncherie, man, they really knocked it out. They weren't supposed to be here this week, Robbie, but they came, and so that's going to keep them right in that hunt for the $1 million.
We finished second place tag and release last year, you know, hoping for the same, hoping for a better outcome. We do the same thing every week. We prepare, we start over. It's like a new game, a new day. Nothing in the past matters anymore. It's time to get after it again and do it again.
As an owner and as a team, you want to be the best at everything you do. And that's our focus. And if we need to go travel to other regions to garner more points, we're going to do that. But we're focused on how do we win this each and every week. We're excited. You know, this is a great event, the Sport Fishing Championship, and it really highlights what we do. We've sat and talked about what it took to win this and really what we needed to do. And we've even considered fishing the East Coast. You know, we're obviously going to look at fishing the Texas tournament as well. I've got a good friend of mine that has a boat that's fished all the East Coast tournaments, and he gladly said, we'll rename it Southern Charm, and y'all come up here and jump on the boat.
We got the momentum. We got the good juju going. We're flowing as a team. We're just going to keep on going. Hopefully, we keep catching.
Captain Landon and Mr. Davis. I like their mindset. They're going to have to do something different. They're not afraid to going to the Atlantic side. And the thing is, they can only accumulate those 3 event points from the Gulf. But again, when you go to the Atlantic, they can compete there as well and maybe get 3 events or at least keep those catch points going. But Southern Charm, it's not just an all-male crew. There's several ladies on board that are looking to catch some fish as well. I know Tara and Mackenzie on this week, and it's not just a male-dominated sport by any means.
Not at all, Robbie. We talked to even Team Rising Suns with Jacelyn Berthelo as the angler. A lot of these teams are mixing in family members and young lady anglers who want to be a part of this. And so it's cool to see some of our heavy contenders for not only the $100,000 for the Gulf Division Team of the Year, but also the $1 million. And so looking at some of these teams, honestly, they struggled the Mississippi Gulf Coast event. A couple of our contending teams, if they can figure it out this week, they can drop that worst event. So we'll keep an eye on some of those teams. But those lady anglers, they're poised as anybody out there.
You see the guys and girls fist bumping, hugs all around for that crew, and it is like a well-oiled machine. Looking at, just getting unhooked from that fighting chair, something you don't necessarily see it at all of our stops. I mean, these are big beasts of the ocean, these blue marlins. And here's their points coming into this event. Again, they're in it to win it. 2/3, that is very important. They're looking to drop that 17th place. It puts them 2nd overall in the championship, Ronnie. But again, you can accumulate points throughout as far as catch points are concerned, and they're not that far behind. But that 17th, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. If they're in 3rd, 4th, 5th, even 10th place, they're right around the championship lead.
One of the things I've seen that kind of trends, some of these teams even like quantified 3rd place in the points race, just like Southern Charm, who's just ahead of them in 2nd. They made hay with smaller fields. Smaller field in Venice, smaller field at the Gulf Coast Masters event in Orange Beach, and they used that to their advantage. They got top 3 finishes, they got top 5 placements. Then we had the biggest field so far, Mississippi and Biloxi. They obviously fell back a little bit there, and we have the biggest field this week. So we'll see if they jump back into the top 5.
There's Southern Charm in 2nd place, about $2,000 behind Mont Cherie, and it's the consistency of Mont Cherie. All of their 3 finishes are in that top 10, a 1st, a 9th, and a 6th, and that's really the advantage right there. But as far as the championship is concerned, I mean, it is a very, very tight race. Breathe Easy, Rising Suns. There are several teams that we haven't really talked about yet, but Southern Charm, one of them. Mont Cherie, there's your top team, and quantified, as Ronnie just mentioned, against some of the teams we're looking for. We've got 7 different cameras out there. Ronnie, I know you're on shore. The Gale Force twins, we'll hear from them this week as well. About making that run, though, this is probably the first time we haven't seen guys really committed to those, whether it be drill ships or platforms or oil rigs. Some of these are unapproachable. You cannot make that far of a run. They've got to change their strategy, and some of these more easterly teams might have an advantage here than, say, some of those westerly teams.
Yeah, the 100%. It's just fishing time. Some of the teams who decide to stay close, it's not about money, it's not about gas consumption, it's not about that. It's about fishing time. They want to fish as long as possible to maybe make up ground. So if they can have a place to themselves close by, they're going to utilize that. But Robbie, look, when we're talking about those points, I want to go back to those real quick. The teams like Breathe Easy, we have Bandito, and then Skin Deep. That's 4th, 6th, and 7th in the points race. They have 2 events to their finishing points tally. They don't have 3 like everyone else. So this event will go to their bottom line. They don't have to call out a bad finish. So we'll keep an eye on some of those teams that have missed the first event or had mechanical issues or didn't catch a fish. This event will be their 3rd, and that'll jump them. That 4,000-point gap seems like a lot, Robbie, but when you haven't had a finish yet, let's just say you put a 2,000 or 3,000-point tournament together, you're going to be within 1 blue marlin and a good finish from overtaking the leader. So some of those guys that make the long run, they're in it for the long haul. They want to be at the top of the leaderboard, and that's what it's going to take, but some guys are playing it safe, a little bit closer, more fishing time.
All of our teams that are in the top 10 are in it for the long haul, and you mentioned Team Bandito. Their drop is that first event. They were in it. They just didn't catch them. They had the misses. But since then, a 2nd and a 6th place. They are coming on strong. We'll hear from Bandito and see what they're doing when we come back.
SFC coverage of the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic is sponsored by Seaholm Watches, by Smith Optics, and by Fish Racer Tournament Grade Tackle.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel 'em in. Plot your paradise with GPS Map Series from Garmin.
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about!
Sport fishing anglers from around the world competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
Remember, everything begins in the morning. Every story told is a fisherman's tale. We build watches tough enough to be a part of that tale. The perfect balance of beauty and brawn. We are Seaholm. Watches that last a lifetime. Seaholm Automatic, the official timepiece of the Sport Fishing Championship.
See it, live it, love it. The largest in-water boat show in the world, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. More than 3 million square feet. Fishing boats to super yachts, engines, accessories, learning experiences, and culinary delights. Save the dates, October 26th through 30th. Details at flibs.com.
It all comes back to the water. This binding agent. This fluid history of connection. Past, present, and future, all tied together through this never-ending, unwavering force. We belong to a community of seekers, anglers, and everyone in between. For us, it's more than fishing, much more. It's who we are, who we were, and who we aspire to be. We are Smith.
SFC coverage of the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic is sponsored by Sword Fishing Products, by Publix, and by Hugo.
It's the 20th edition of the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic. Those PWCs wouldn't be able to hang with those boats that took off this morning. Multi-million-dollar fleet headed out between 85 and 95 boats at this jewel of the Gulf Coast in Miramar Beach, Florida. They call it the Emerald Coast for that blue-green water, but you can have many things to do, whether it be onshore or offshore, Ronnie, and it's all about Sport Fishing Championship this week, the first day of 3. I'm Robbie Floyd. Let's go on site with Site 1 and Ronnie Moore. Ronnie, a light breeze, but good conditions for these guys. They're making that run out, and we're looking for that first blue marlin of the tournament. You pointed out earlier today that we have not had a guy win or a team win that caught that first blue marlin. Do you think this may be the change?
I think that it could, Robbie. Catching that first blue marlin not only gets you the bonus points that you can't get anywhere else. Yeah, you could catch another fish that gets around 75, maybe 125 points, but 100 extra points for just catching a blue marlin, that is something that's underrated for the season ending. That could add up catch points-wise. So I think this could be the event where we see a team that's been pretty consistent. Maybe they stick to their guns and do what's right, and they catch that first blue marlin, and they can keep it consistent like they've been all season. We will see that. But I also think those sails and white marlin, you mix in those, and you're going to have an uneven point total, and you're going to be able to knock out some teams that are tied.
Hey, look right here. Quantified. It's the team that always does something a little bit different, but they finally have that first blue marlin, and they're not even known as the blue marlin team, but they got one at 353 and followed it up with a sailfish shortly thereafter. So, Ronnie, you pointed out Quantified earlier. They sit third in the championship. They have a 7th. They have a 1st. They're trying to drop that 14th, and right now they're in the lead in the Sport Fishing Championship.
Yeah, I think those two fish equate to about 525 points for quantified. I'm excited about that. I talked to Justin at the meeting last night, and he said, Ronnie, I'm going to do the same game plan I've been doing, but if it's going to work, I'm not sure. It looks like it's already working, Robbie. Blue Marlin on the board for them. That's huge. They normally wait till day 3 for a Blue Marlin.
Justin Drummond, the captain for that boat. Bandito. Remember them at the start of the season? They were having struggles. Captain Chad were putting them on the fish. They had the heaviest dolphin at 35.5 pounds, but their struggles turned to success as the season went on. They're in this championship.
Yeah, we get pretty excited on this boat. We did, at least I do a lot of yelling, and they do a lot of they do some yelling back. But it's exciting. I mean, we have a good time, and we're owner-operator program, fishing with a bunch of friends. So we get fired up, and it's always nice to catch the first one. It's if you catch the first one, it's like catching 2. Somebody's got to catch 2 to beat you. So it definitely helps out. So we kind of talked about it this morning. We're going to try to do the same thing again. We're going to stop short, fish a little while, and then make our move tomorrow night.
Let him eat, let him eat, let him eat.
Oh, God, David, he's right behind the boat.
Yeah, we've been, Bobby and I have been partners for 5 years. We're on our second boat together. And we've had basically the same crew since we started, a few folks in and out from there. But otherwise, it's been pretty much the same people in the program. And so it's, I mean, everybody kind of knows what to do and, how to do it. And, we fine tune some things as we go. But, we just, like I said, a group of friends fishing together, enjoy it, and have a good time. And, we've been working hard at it, so hopefully it'll pay off.
I got you. Boom! Tag, baby.
You want to see that?
Pull his head up, Poncho.
All right, cut her loose.
Let's go. Let's get our time in. Hell yeah, guys! All right!
Definitely, we enjoy the money and we enjoy the competition. It's fun. I mean, there's some of the best teams in the world that we're fishing against in the Gulf. This is one of the bigger venues of the year, so it's always nice to go out and compete, and especially when you do well, it makes us feel good. I mean, we get fired up, we're excited about it, and we have a lot of fun.
Rail, get on, rail! Rail, get on! Boom, baby!
All right, guys.
Open the door!
I don't know. We have expectations, but we definitely want to win, and we're going to fish hard, and we want to compete, and we want to win the $1 million for sure. So we're going to fish hard and do the best we can, and make sure everything right before we leave the dock, and then hope for the best.
And boy, we've seen success out of Bandito. I don't like to say, Ronnie, they went from hero to zero or zero to hero, but they did start off with a blank. They had nothing, and then they followed it up with 2nd and 6th place finishes. That's how you get it done. You learn from your failures. They knew they didn't catch them at that first stop, and you see the points. They're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, Robbie, for these guys, not only did they not catch them, they were inefficient when it comes to hooking and landing or releasing fish in the first event, but they also had mechanical issues. They have worked through those mechanical issues on their boat. Tie rod went down. You can't make a run. You can't navigate a marina without a tie rod. They could not come back in that first event. 2nd and 6th, that's more like it for Bandito. They were very excited about this event. They're still positive, optimistic. They definitely turned the tides from the bad luck at the beginning of the season and turned the luck their way, but they know it's still day by by day, and they want to build from one day to the next. They have a good evening today, leads into a good morning tomorrow, and that's how they look at every single day of competition. A lot of our top teams, Robbie, have that kind of mindset, though.
And a variety of anglers on Bandito as well. A young lady, I believe it was Ashley Wade. We've got Bobby Wade, Tucker Wade, 12 years old. We saw him catching a blue marlin earlier this year. Again, Bandito, just one of our many teams to look for, currently 6th in championship points, not too far behind Montcherie. I want to point out, though, quantified how they're getting it done. We've seen them take wins before by the subspecies, the non-blue marlin fish. I don't care any of those other 4. They seem to catch them. But now to start off with the blue marlin, I mean, that's a big feather in their hat. Also to have a sailfish, and that could make the difference. We've seen that before, how that one sail, even though it's less points, that could be a big tiebreaker at the end of the day.
They've already got one big thing out of the way, Robbie, that they haven't done this season. They caught the most point gathering fish, the first blue marlin. 450 points there, 75 more for a sail. I really like what that team does. They really stick to their own game plan. They don't worry with other people, and I'm very interested to see. Some of the other teams have noticed their game plan. Maybe they don't know the exact area they're in. They don't know the exact game plan they have, but they have started to hear more rumors and more talk of white marlin teams, sailfish teams, guys that, hey, we don't want to be tied for 17th like Southern Charm was in the second event, or for their second tournament. They obviously want to get above the tiebreakers. There was a big tiebreaker there from 10th to 17th. They want to get in there, and sometimes sailfish, white marlin are going to do it for you.
Another consistent team, a 7th, 9th, and 6th for Team Rising Suns. They sit in 5th for the championship. We're going to get to hear from them when we return to the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic. It's the 20th edition, and they've got blue skies to fish here in the Gulf of Mexico this week so far.
The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation is honored to be the official charity of the Sports Fishing Championship. Through this partnership and the support of donors like you, future generations will enjoy and benefit from a naturally balanced ocean ecosystem. Our education programs, both in the classroom and online, bring to life the work needed to make sure we have clean oceans for decades to come. Join us today at www.ghof.org.
Sometimes saying no can be really difficult. It's hard to set boundaries, to give yourself space and time. Hop water means never having to choose between having fun or missing out. A sparkling hop water full of flavor and packed with mood-boosting benefits that's non-alcoholic with no calories, no carbs, and no sugar. So go out there and get up to no good.
Sport fishing anglers from around the world competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
Serious. You are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
It's the simple things, like spending a day at the beach, splashing in the water, playing in the sand, and creating sandcastle masterpieces. Rediscover fun and family on the beautiful white sand beaches of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach.
SFC coverage of the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic is sponsored by Invincible Boats, by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism, and by Salt Life.
We are definitely living that salt life for the Emerald Coast Blue Marlin Classic. If you're not out there fishing, you can hit up the sandbar. That is a mass of humanity. A lot of fun to be had, whether it be on the beach, and somewhere Ronnie Moore is out there. And I'm wondering, why is the watercolor change around all those people? Is it the sand, or did they put that special dye that they put in the pools they told me about when I was a little kid? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. But again, a lot of things to do here in all of our stops of the Sport Fishing Championship, and you cannot ask for a better location to vacation and catch fishing, sport fishing to be specific. One of our top teams, Rising Suns, up on that leaderboard, 5th in the championship hunt, the 7th, the 9th, the 6th, and Captain Cricket's been putting them on the fish. But they finally got off of that one blue marlin streak, one in the first tournament, one in the second tournament, and 2 in the third. But they've been kind of building that momentum still in this championship. Consistency wins you championship. They just need some better placings, and maybe this is their chance.
Robbie, I talked to Jacelyn Berthelo, who's the angler on that boat, 19 years old, and she's been on the boat for over 6 years, learning and watching every crewmate know their task and their role. So when you jump into the seat and you're an angler, you can trust that team or that teammate, that crewmate to do their job. But Captain Cricket, Jimmy Crochet, I mean, what a fantastic captain. Steady Eddie for the team, very, very seasoned. And honestly, at the Biloxi event, the Gulf Coast event, this is their game plan. You got to at least catch a blue marlin to be in the game, and so they're obviously in the game consistent, but like you said, they got to jump higher than that top 5 if they want to replace one of those, probably.
Yeah, that 6th place is their best finish in that last stop, but I mean, that's a full boat. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's a 58-foot Viking. I count 11 people on it. Jacelyn Berthelo, Toby Berthelo, Todd Berthelo. Then you have it is a full boat out there, Ronnie. I don't think you can sit on that one. But you look at the equipment that they're dealing with here. I mean, these are some heavy winches cranking these big marlin in there. Unlike, say, the white marlin we were looking for at the Dominican Republic. You've got the fighting chair, you've got the equipment, and you've got the right team behind you. And Rising Suns are sitting in 5th in this championship hunt, looking to move up here on the Emerald Coast.
We definitely love what we do. We got a great team. We've been fishing together for, over 15 years, so we all have a good time when we go out there. It keeps, the pressure kind of down, We're going to probably go in the same area that we've been fishing in, try to stay away from boats, which is going to be hardly impossible, We're just going to get it in the area and work it and hopefully get lucky. If the fish is staying on top, you want to get over to them as quickly as possible before they go down, because we're not fishing in shallow water. It's deep out there, so kind of want to keep the fish as close to the boat as possible. I'm still after that first place blue marlin. That's one of my big goals to do here.
Ronnie, you see it in all forms of fishing. I don't go whether you're on a lake or out in the ocean. I mean, you've got to have some good peepers. And you've got guys, and that's why they have those platforms and those decks, why they're so high up in the air, so they can look out and see those fish up on top. But you're looking at the championship points and that Mississippi Gulf Coast Billfish Classic, that got them the most. They're, again, trending in the right direction. Very consistent, but they need to turn that 6th, 7th, and 9th into maybe a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here at the end of the year.
Yeah, consistency's been their deal. Get the catch points, be in the top 10. That'll get you to in contention for that final end of the year $1 million. And Robbie, Team Rising Suns, hey, they had to adjust on that final day in Biloxi. That will be a crucial day for their whole season. They caught that second blue marlin, and they did so on lightweight tackle that not a lot of other teams are going to be utilizing. But Jimmy Crochet, very seasoned, said, hey, we went a long time without even seeing blue marlin. We went a long time without even having the opportunity to catch and release one. I wanted to get a bite and get it an opportunity, and he did. They said, let's go to the lightweight, and it took them less than an hour to hook up with one. That's why they fought that fish for over 4 hours. They obviously got it to the boat and released it successfully. So Team Rising Suns is a team I want to look at for the rest of the year. They're a very interesting team, but very seasoned. I'm excited that they're doing so well because they deserve it. They've really put in the time and effort.
Yeah, and Captain Cricket doing a great job there. We saw like a general area that some of these boats are going. Again, we're not trying to zoom in. We're not saying exactly where they are. The fishery here is still the Gulf of Mexico, but you have hundreds and hundreds of miles left, right, north, southeast, and well, you're not going to go north, but you're going to go southeast or west. There's a lot of area to cover, and something that they pointed out is they don't want to be around other boats. We've seen at other tournaments where you see a boat in the background. That's different here for these guys. The water's different. Some of the currents are going to be different, and they're not having to deal with these platforms and rigs like we've seen before.
Yeah, Team Rising Suns, I asked Captain Cricket that yesterday on the dock. I said, what is your game plan going to be? We're a little bit farther east. It's going to be a little bit more run time to exactly where you've been. And he said, man, the place we've been, I feel confident the fish are still there, the bait's there, the current's there. And that is one thing that they're going to risk it and make that run out to where they've been the last couple weeks. There have been some changes, though, to the body of water. The Mississippi River, Mobile Bay, they have dumped a lot more fresh and dirty water. It has changed up that Gulf Loop. And, Robbie, that Gulf Loop, it'll eventually get to the bottom of Florida and it'll hit the Gulf Stream. But I've seen some of those upwellings, the counterclockwise currents that come off of there. There was 2 really tight, really strong counterclockwise currents. This week, only one, the most northern one, has kind of broken off a little bit. That'll be something to watch.
Ken Bronny, there's no doubt you've been on your Hilton Navigator. Now let's take a look ahead with Smith Optics. That guy knows his technology, and we'll talk more about those updwellings and things tomorrow on our show, as well as Peter Miller will be here with us. But look at South Jersey Yacht Sales Showdown. I can't wait to get to the southern tip of New Jersey. I cover motorcycle racing down there near Millville. I'm going to have to do some bill fishing the first week, or I guess July 9th. It might be the second weekend in July. But now we're finally making that Atlantic push, Ronnie, and we go back-to-back-to-back events, and we'll kind of set the tone on what the Atlantic region is doing here very soon.
And the question has been since the second event of the season in the DR, Doña Lucy, teams like that are still in the top 10 overall for the points race. That's just with one event to their tally. Catch points plus finishing points for the top spot keeps them in the contention. And I've heard rumors this week at the meeting, they are chartering and they're going to make sure they at least fish one of those so they can maybe end the season in Puerto Rico close to home and maybe have their 3 tournaments, have an opportunity for that $1 million.
I love that sounder. That was the catch alert just shy of 4 o'clock. Again, they had to make those long runs. Team Quantified catches a blue marlin, and that would be unofficially, everything I say is officially unofficial, that would be the first blue marlin of the tournament. I know we've had issues before where other teams aren't able to radio in. They actually have to have video verification. We've had 2 teams that say basically at the same time. We have to look at a timestamp to verify that as well, but this is how it looks as it stands right now after they made that run. And Ronnie, we know day 2 is always the best. They've got a full day to fish. Day 3, they'll be heading back. And looking at the championship points, it's Montcherie on top. They took the very first event in the Sport Fishing Championship, took that win in the Louisiana Gulf Coast Billfish Classic. They followed up with a 9th and a 6th place finish. But Montcherie is the best of the SFC as it stands now. Well, Ronnie Moore, kick back, Sandustin Golf and Beach Resort there. I know you'll have a great time. We'll have Peter Miller in here in the morning, so make sure you tune in to sportfishingchampionship.com. For Ronnie, I'm Robbie. The Gale Force Twins, we'll hear from them as well. It's a great day of fishing. It's also a great day of catching here on the Sport Fishing Championship.
A day out on the water could go great. Or it could have a few minor setbacks. Things could get rough. Or you could lose that $900 smartphone. Whatever the problem, Yugo provides unmatched premium protection for any water sports adventure. Yugo. To get yours, visit YugoWear.com or simply scan the QR code on the screen. And remember, just add water.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at LouisianaTravel.com.
So, you want this, but you can't have it without this, or this, or this. Until now, introducing a new way to travel, intranationally. Get all that international charm without ever leaving the country. Right here in St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Get all that culture, all the cuisine from that culture. You're welcome. All the gram-worthy sights from that #culture. Right here at home. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Travel intranationally.
Slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
When it comes to performance, comfort, and functionality, we've got you covered. Performance apparel designed by anglers to make your time on the water better than ever. Salt Life, the official apparel sponsor of the Sport Fishing Championship.